Hello, creatures of the fog. I hope you are having a wonderful day today. As you know, Dead by Daylight has many perks that change the style of gameplay that you use. Whether that be to find more people, to make chases easier, that's up to you. But today, we'll be going over my top 10 most fun killer perks in Dead by Daylight. Now, I want to stress this is very different from the top 10 best perks. Fun and best are very different. So as long as everyone understands that going into this, everything will be fine. Now, moving into number 10, we have Face the Darkness. Face the Darkness allows you to hear the screams of survivors every 30 seconds after injuring a survivor. This effect will go away if that injured survivor is healed or downed, and also if the totem is cleansed. This is extremely useful for tracking survivors. Sometimes you just want to smack a survivor and then leave them so that you're able to get the Face the Darkness value on others. Now, this perk is tied to your terror radius, so the screams only happen if they are outside of your terror radius. But this can be mitigated by Wraith and Ghostface by taking away their terror radius completely. Therefore, everyone should scream. This is an extremely fun one to pull off and use, and just to find people with. Therefore, it gets our number 10 spot. At number 9, we have Dissolution. Dissolution will break the pallet under a survivor if they fast vault it after getting hit. Against survivors who aren't careful, this can end chases really fast. And while it's not extremely reliable, when it works well. And there are plenty of times where you'll use this and find them trapped in a situation where they're either going to get hit or break the pallet and get hit. Either way, it's a pretty big win-win, and that's why it's at number 9. At number 8, we have I'm All Ears. I'm All Ears allows you to see the aura of survivors after they do a rushed action. This perk is extremely useful in chase as it allows you to mind game easier, and most likely they'll be rushing actions during a chase. This perk can especially shine on certain killers such as Huntress, Deathslinger, and my favorite Pyramid Head, because Pyramid Head will be able to use that aura reading to hit people through walls. But pretty much on every killer, you can slap this one on and not regret it. At number 7, we have Dark Devotion. Dark Devotion is a weird one, as when you slap your Obsession and make them take any damage, they will get your terror radius and you will lose yours. Therefore, you can use it to stealth around. But the more fun part is, the Obsession will now be feared by their team. It's possible to use this so that the Obsession will go to a generator, but the people on the generator will hear the terror radius and run away, thinking that the killer's approaching. You can use this if the Obsession is on a hook. Therefore, people will run away from the hook, or at least be very cautious around it because they think the killer is nearby. It's a very mind-gamey perk, and just a very fun one to use. At number 6, we have Discordance. Discordance is a great information perk. At the start of the game, mostly, people will tend to gather around a generator, and luckily, Discordance tells you when 2 or more people are on a generator. This effect is strong on whatever killer you play, but it is really good with killers like Legion, who thrive on getting killers close together. This perk is good on Nemesis, as it not only gives you some information mostly around the start of the match, but it also attracts zombies to the noise that Discordance makes. Overall, it's able to guide you to where you should be at most times, and for that reason, it's pretty good. At number 5, we have Lethal Pursuer. The main use of this perk is to show you the aura of all survivors at the start of a trial for 8 seconds. This is really good for killers who need to ramp up their power in the early game, and can be a necessity sometimes. Killers like Nemesis and Oni would really like to have a good beginning to their match, and this helps out tremendously. And that's not all this perk provides. For the second half of the perk, it is able to synergize well with other aura rating abilities, allowing you to see people's auras for 2 seconds longer than you would be able to normally. You can run this really well on aura reading builds to make them just that much stronger, and even with aura reading add-ons. That reliability of finding survivors and getting into a chase early is undoubtedly really fun. At number 4, we have Spirit Fury. Spirit Fury will allow you to break a pallet that you're stunned with immediately, and in turn, pretty much guarantee a hit on the person that stunned you. This perk is able to turn the tide in so many chases that it is ridiculous. This works especially well if you pair it with Enduring, which almost completely takes away the stun effect, just giving you that much of an easier time getting the slap on them. However, over time, survivors will tend to learn that you have this perk and start pre-dropping pallets, but that doesn't stop the fun factor from being as high as it is. At number 3, we have Nowhere to Hide. Nowhere to Hide is just a really good aura reading perk, allowing you to see the auras of people around a generator when you break it. You can use this effect so well in so many scenarios, it's great. If you're out of chase and just looking around for someone, you can feel free to kick the gen, and there's a good chance that you'll be able to see someone through a wall. Maybe they keep hiding from you as you approach the generator. If you kick that gen, they can't hide from you. There are so many survivors that get caught off guard hiding from you, and for that reason, you're able to laugh at them and have fun with this perk. At number 2, we have Save the Best for Last. Save the Best for Last allows you to ramp up your hits so they get faster each time you hit a non-obsession survivor, but it will make your hits slower when you hit the obsession. I love this perk because of just how much it makes you think about how you should hit your survivor. If you're chasing your obsession, you will most likely want to use a secondary attack like that on Nemesis or Pyramid Head, as hitting the obsession with your secondary attack will not remove your Save the Best for Last stacks. But when it comes to hitting non-obsessions, if you're using someone like Nemesis, you have to kind of make the decision between whether to infect them and get some infection points, or to just punch them and gain some more Save the Best for Last stacks. It's that choice that you're constantly making with Save the Best for Last that pulls this perk up to the top for me, but not all the way to the top, because at number 1, we have Hex Devour Hope. There is no perk like Devour Hope in the way that it can completely win you a game that you otherwise wouldn't have, other than maybe Blood Warden. But the way that Devour Hope does it is just so satisfying. With Devour Hope on, whenever a survivor is unhooked far from you, you gain a stack. When you have 3 stacks, you are able to one-shot down all survivors, and when you gain 5 stacks, you're able to mori them. Letting the killer hit 5 stacks on Devour Hope is pretty much a loss for most survivor teams. And once they find out that you have Devour Hope, it has to be a mad dash to the totem. They have to try to find it as soon as possible, or else they'll lose. The perk may not be the most reliable thing, and it may get cleansed at the very start of the match, but when it works, it really works. And I think that's a part of the fun of Devour Hope. It's a gamble, but it's one I'm willing to take. And there you go. There are my top 10 most fun killer perks in Dead by Daylight. Do you have any differing opinions? Tell me in the comments below, and if you liked the video, remember to like it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.